Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald, Second Swing Golf, out here today on the driving range at Braemar Golf Course with Jake Montgomery, the fitting manager at our Minneapolis store. And today we have a fun head-to-head because we got the new Titleist GT2 driver. And so it's time to start seeing how it stacks up with other ones out there on the market, the more popular ones. We've got a TaylorMade Qi10 here, Jake. So what have you seen from the TaylorMade Qi10? And then we'll dive into as well the GT2 here.
Yeah, so the reason I grabbed this driver to compare is as far as a kind of mid to high forgiving driver, this one's been very, very low spin. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see out of the GT2 as well. So I think this will be a really good comparison. This is kind of the multi-material to the extreme. I mean, they got a carbon face, a carbon crown, a carbon sole. They are really kind of maximizing weight position and using different materials in the head. Titleist has now kind of entered that game. They've got a multi-material crown with a split center of gravity down there in the bottom, some weight forward, some weight back, help increase MOI and lower spin. So I think this will be a really fun head-to-head, kind of see what wins out.
I also think it's worth noting now that I think the crowns, the way they're designed, they got that glossy black kind of classic look. Both drivers look pretty similar.
They do.
You know, from addressing. We've also got the same shaft today in this. We're going to go with the Velocore Plus Ventus 6X in the blue. So it'll be a fun test for back and forth here. Is there any predictions that you have or anything like that? I mean, based on what you've seen and what you know about GT2?
I would say I would predict the GT2 will probably win the low spin competition. In the testing that I've done with it, it's done a really good job of managing spin rate. But don't sleep on the Qi10's ball speed. This thing has been really, really fast in the bay.
Okay, all right, interesting. We got some hypotheses here. Let's go see if they're correct.
Let's do it.
There goes that tee. It's a good ball.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, I hit that pretty well.
Really good start. 24.78 spin, 268.7, 295.4 total. Pretty good start for the Qi10.
Felt great.
Oh, wow. Another really good one, turning over left. What's your thoughts so far after two swings of the Qi10?
I would say I love the ball flight thus far. Just a slight draw on it. It's felt pretty solid. I think I've cut both pretty close to the middle there.
Yeah.
Height's maybe a hair lower than I want it to be. Maybe a little more height, a little more carry there, but overall it feels real good. I love the way that these QIs look now.
Yeah.
The glossy finish, the infinity crown, it just looks super, super clean and tidy.
I like it much more than the stealth models personally.
That one got higher.
That one did get higher. I think it's going to be farther too than the previous two shots. Has to be, yeah. That's 278.7 carry.
Okay.
307.7 total.
All right.
That'll work. 1978 spin that time too. So it's kind of it was a high draw that also spun low. That's kind of the good.
That's my favorite shot right there.
It's a good formula there. All right. Let's get one more good one. Ooh.
That's a big draw.
Big draw.
That was toey.
That's curving. All right. We got some numbers here. Qi10. We've got a dispersion here too. Now we've got one a little bit that's farther left than the others, but nonetheless, we're going to roll with it here. 109.1 club speed, 161.5 ball speed, 148 smash. The spin rate on average is 25.04. So I'm thinking GT2 is going to be lower than that.
That'd be my guess.
Thought. Yeah. The distance averages were 268.9 carry, 295.2 total. Height average 88. Launch was 11.3. Okay. So anything there surprise you, or?
I'd say the spin's gonna be a hair higher than I expected, just with how much I was drawing the golf ball.
Yeah, true.
Felt like I was hitting it pretty solid, so that smash factor makes sense. What was my average to the left dispersion?
Average to the left. It was a curve of 93 feet.
Yeah.
Don't have the side pulled up right now, but if you want to see the dispersion, you can here. So we got, here's your 4. This one is that last one.
Okay, yep.
And then there.
Yeah,
so
looks pretty typical.
You're definitely drawing it more than you're not. So
yeah, 100%.
All right, let's go to the GT2.
Let's do it.
Got it right here for you.
Thank you.
T is right there, if you were going to stick with that one. Oh, yeah.
I like that flight.
It's a really good start.
Maybe a hair low on the face.
Okay.
How'd the spin do?
28.75 on the spin.
Yeah,
really good shot, though. I mean, 296.5 on the total distance there. So That's another good ball. Those are two excellent shots to start here.
I'll take those all day.
Spin was 30-77 though.
Okay. That was better.
There's a good ball. Yep, there's the draw.
Okay.
All right, let's get one more.
All right.
Ooh. That was hit pretty good, right?
Yeah, that was solid.
Sounds really good. All right, so before we get into the numbers, let's talk about the feel and kind of the look of the two drivers. Obviously, I've got the Qi10 in hand here. You've got the GT2. Did you notice a difference in feel when you made contact with each of them?
Yeah, I mean, this definitely feels a lot firmer. That feels a lot softer.
Okay.
It makes sense. I mean, this is that ATI face. It's pretty much the firmest face that they put in the driver.
Yeah.
That has that carbon.
Right.
It's going to feel much, much softer there. I'd say look-wise, I definitely noticed the elongated toe of that TaylorMade.
Yeah.
Compared to a little bit longer overall head in that GT. Weight's just a little bit further back, a little bit more MOI there.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. So let's get some numbers here. And you're swinging the GT2 slightly faster, but you're still more efficient with it. So 163.4 ball speed with the GT2 compared to 161.5. The spin, interestingly enough, was actually a little bit higher with the GT2. I know there was a couple of low face strikes that were involved there. So 2,800, but the distance was actually higher with the GT2. So 296.5 average, and actually gained about 4.5 more carry yards with the GT2, despite the spin being basically 300 RPMs higher in this particular test. Any other numbers here you're curious about seeing, and then also I can show you the dispersion pattern.
Peak height-wise, how do those two stack up?
Peak height, the GT2 was 92 to 88 of the Qi10. So pretty close, right around 90 feet. The GT2 is a little bit higher. I do want to show you the dispersion because the dispersion was pretty darn good. Look at this. There's that orange is the GT2.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So you had 4 really, really good balls with the GT2. I don't know if you realized that this is the total dispersion, so that may be why it was, because you had some different ball flights there. Carry is still pretty close, though. You just had one that went much farther with a little bit higher spin there. Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect test by any means. We have, we have range balls. We have a smaller sample size out here, but I think it's fun to get these two together. They're both still going to be awesome in the fitting bays for the rest of this year. I guess in terms of if you were to kind of put these in categories for golfers, do you think they still fit similar players,
100%.
or is that still a little bit? I know it's always about what the golfer's trying to achieve.
Yeah, they're similar enough clubs where you never fully know player to player which one's going to spin lower, which one's going to have faster ball speed. That's why we test it. But these are two very, very good options if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more forgiving but help drop that spin rate down, especially if you struggle with kind of a higher right miss. You can set both of these to be fairly upright, get those faces a little bit more shut, and reduce the spin so you won't see as much curvature.
Right, exactly. Well, fun head-to-head test here. We got some good numbers. Golfers, if you're interested, of course, they're in the fitting bay at Second Swing right now, TaylorMade Qi10 or the Titleist GT2. Schedule that fitting, get with someone like Jake, and get your tee game improved, and ultimately that's going to help you shoot lower scores. So, Jake, thanks for the time today, hitting the shots. Pretty good test here.
Thanks for having me.